Inner strength doesn't show up when life is easy. It shows up when you decide to stop running from what's hard. If you're tired of feeling weak on the inside, if your mind breaks down when things don't go your way, this is the message you need. Inner strength isn't about being tough on the surface. It's about being solid when no one's watching. It's built in your habits, your mindset, your discipline, day by day. In this video, you're going to learn how to build immense inner strength step by step, not with hype, not with theory, but with real, clear action. If you want to stop falling apart under pressure, if you're ready to lead yourself with power and control, stay with this until the end, because this is how strong people are made. Chapter 1. Take control of your life, starting right now. If you want to build immense inner strength, there's one decision you have to make, and you have to make it now. You have to take control of your life, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. That means you stop blaming, you stop waiting, you stop hoping that things will somehow get better without you doing your part. You take full ownership of your choices, your thoughts, your actions, and the results you get. You see, it's easy to drift. It's easy to go with the flow and do what's comfortable. But that doesn't lead to strength. That leads to regret. And regret is a heavy burden to carry. The truth is, no one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to live your life for you. If you don't take charge, someone else will, and they won't have your best interests in mind. Inner strength starts the moment you say, "This is my life, and I'm responsible for it." That one decision can change everything. Because once you take full responsibility, now you have the power. As long as you keep giving your power away to excuses or people or problems, you'll stay stuck. But the moment you take it back, you begin to rise. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. Taking control doesn't mean you won't have problems. It means you stop giving your problems the power to define you. You stop saying, "I can't do this because of what happened to me," and you start saying, "I will do this because I've decided to." That kind of talk changes the way you walk into your day. It changes how you respond to stress. It changes how you see yourself. But most people never make that shift. They wait. They wait for motivation. They wait for permission. They wait for someone to tell them it's okay to take the lead in their own life. You don't need anyone to approve of your life before you start living it on your terms. If it's your life, then it's your responsibility. You may not control everything that happens to you, but you always control how you respond, and that response builds or weakens your strength. Every time you respond with courage instead of fear, you grow stronger. Every time you act with discipline instead of excuses, you grow stronger. Every time you choose to move forward, even when it's hard, you grow stronger. Inner strength is not about never feeling weak. It's about doing the right thing even when you do feel weak. It's waking up tired and still showing up. It's being afraid and still doing what you said you'd do. It's knowing that nobody sees your effort, but doing it anyway. Because you're not doing it for applause, you're doing it for you. Taking control also means taking control of your time. Because if you don't, the hours will disappear and they're not coming back. Most people waste their mornings, drift through their afternoons, and wonder why they feel unfulfilled at night. You want to build strength? Take back your time. Use it wisely. Start your day early. Set your focus. Stop scrolling and start building. When you take control of your life, you start making decisions based on who you want to become, not how you feel in the moment. Feelings come and go, but decisions create direction, and direction creates progress. And that's where strength lives, in progress. You don't build strength by staying the same. You build it by stretching, by challenging yourself, by facing what's difficult and doing it anyway. Most people avoid hard things. That's why they stay stuck. That's why they stay soft. You want to build something real? Do what's hard. Do what's uncomfortable. Say no to the things that steal your energy. Say yes to the habits that build you up. Cut the noise, cut the laziness, cut the blame. It's your life. You decide how it goes. And you know what else? Taking control means you stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending you're okay with less than what you're capable of. You're not. You know it. Deep down, you want to grow. You want to feel proud of yourself. You want to look in the mirror and say, I'm doing the best I can with what I've got. And that pride only comes when you take control and start doing the work. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to start. Start with what you have. Start with where you are. Stop thinking you need more time or more knowledge or more confidence. That's just fear dressed up as logic. What you need is action. Action creates change. Action builds belief. Action builds momentum. And momentum builds strength. Start today, not because it's easy, but because you're tired of waiting. You're tired of wondering what your life could look like if you finally took control. It's not going to happen by chance. It's going to happen because you chose it, because you woke up and said, enough. I've had enough of waiting. I've had enough of holding back. I'm ready to lead my own life. And don't worry if people don't understand. Most people won't. They're too busy running from responsibility. You run toward it. You run toward the challenge, toward the discomfort, because that's where your strength is hiding. And once you start, you'll realize something powerful. Your limits were never real. You were just waiting for permission to stop playing small. So give yourself that permission now. Give yourself the power to take control. And once you do, everything changes. Your habits change. Your mindset changes. Your energy changes. And the people around you will feel that. You won't need to prove anything to anyone. Your life will speak for itself. And here's the most important part. Don't stop. Once you take control, keep going. Keep showing up. Keep doing what builds you. Even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one is clapping. Tell any audience today, and you'll hear them all. If it builds you, even when it's hard, even when no one is clapping or dying, and when it's difficult, almost always what happens is people do what you envision. That's how you build something unshakable inside you. That's how you build strength that lasts. The kind of strength that doesn't depend on the weather, doesn't depend on who's watching, doesn't depend on the results. It depends on one thing, your decision to take control and never give it up again. That's where it all begins. That's where it all turns around. That's how you build immense inner strength. You take control of your life, and you do it right now. Chapter 2. Build discipline by doing what feels uncomfortable daily. If you want real discipline, you have to stop chasing comfort. Comfort doesn't build anything strong. It makes you soft. It makes you settle. Every time you choose what's easy, you rob yourself of the strength you could have had. The people who grow, the people who win, they don't live in the comfort zone. They make a habit of doing the things they don't feel like doing, on purpose, every single day. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's built by choice. You build it when you wake up early, even though your body wants more sleep. You build it when you go to the gym, even when your mind says stay home. You build it when you stick to your plan instead of going back to your old patterns. Every time you feel that resistance, that moment where you want to quit or postpone, that's the exact moment you push forward. That's how you train it, not once, not twice, but every day. You've got to stop making decisions based on how you feel in the moment. Feelings lie. They'll tell you to stay in bed, to eat junk, to scroll your phone, to waste time. And if you listen to them, you lose. You have to rise above your feelings and act on your standards. What do you want from your life? What kind of person do you want to become? Discipline is how you get there. And discipline always lives in the uncomfortable zone. The real growth starts when things get hard. That's when most people stop. But you keep going. You keep doing what's necessary, not what's convenient. Because every uncomfortable decision you make, it strengthens you. It teaches your mind that you're not going to be pushed around by emotion. It teaches you that you can be trusted with your own goals. You know what kills discipline fast? Excuses. That little voice in your head that always has a reason. I'll start tomorrow. It's not that important today. I've done enough already. That voice will steal your life, and you need to silence that voice. You do that by acting in spite of it. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to start. And once you start, don't stop. Not when you're tired, not when you're discouraged, not when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. Because when you do what's uncomfortable on purpose, something inside you changes. You build mental muscle. You build emotional control. MS. You learn to show up no matter what the conditions are. And that kind of discipline, it spreads. It doesn't stay in one area. If you start with your fitness, it leaks into your work. If you fix your habits, it improves your mindset. If you stop making excuses in one area, soon you stop making them in others. But it's got to be daily. Not once a week, not whenever you're inspired, daily. That's what separates the serious from the average. That's what separates talk from transformation. Discipline isn't loud, it's not dramatic, it's not something you post online. It's quiet, it's private, it's boring, but it's real. It's you doing the right thing when no one's watching. And the results? They come slowly. But when they come, they stay. Most people won't do it. Most people want comfort more than progress. That's why discipline is rare. But that's also why it's powerful. If you want to stand out, if you want to stop feeling stuck, build discipline. It's not motivation. It's not inspiration. It's action. Daily action. Uncomfortable action. And that's what makes the difference. You won't always like it. Some days you'll want to quit. Some days your mind will tell you it's pointless. But you keep going. You stay on track. You stick to the work. Not because it's fun, but because you gave yourself a promise, and now you're proving that you can follow through. That's how you start trusting yourself. That's how you build real belief. Not from reading, not from wishing, from doing. Start small if you have to. Wake up earlier. Cut out one bad habit. Set a schedule and stick to it. Push yourself in one area of your life every day. That small push becomes momentum, and momentum becomes strength. The hardest part is starting, but once you do, don't break the chain. Don't miss a day. Don't tell yourself you'll catch up tomorrow. If you do, you're back to being controlled by emotion. You're back to waiting for the perfect mood, and the perfect mood rarely comes. Discipline gives you freedom. Freedom from regret, freedom from guilt, freedom from weakness. Every time you take the hard road, you get stronger. You don't need to be extreme. You just need to be consistent. Make it non-negotiable. Whether you feel like it or not, whether you're tired or not, whether it's raining or not, you show up and you give your best. That's what discipline is. It's not about being perfect. It's about being committed. No one is coming to force you to change. No one is going to check on your habits every day. This is on you. You have to lead yourself. You have to be the one who says, I'm not going to keep living below my potential. And then you back it up with work, with focus, with habits that challenge you. And you'll notice something over time. The things that used to be hard won won't feel so hard anymore. You won't have to fight yourself just to get up or stay on task, because now discipline is part of who you are. You've trained it, you've earned it, and once you earn it, no one can take it from you. Your self-worth starts to change. Your energy changes. You look in the mirror and you're proud, not because everything is perfect, but because you know you've been doing the work. You know you've been consistent, and that feeling, it's stronger than any comfort you could have had. So make the decision every day, do something uncomfortable, do something that makes you better, do something that reminds your mind who's in charge. Because if you don't, life will keep handing you the same results, the same stress, the same frustration. And that's not what you're here for. You're here to grow, you're here to build, you're here to live with strength and purpose. Discipline makes that possible. And it's in your hands, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Push yourself through what's uncomfortable and keep doing it every day. That's how you build the life you want. That's how you build immense inner strength. Chapter 3. Remove distractions and give your full focus daily. If you want to build real strength inside, you have to stop giving your attention to everything that doesn't matter. You have to cut out the noise. You have to take back your focus. Because without focus, nothing works. It doesn't matter how smart you are or how big your goals are. If you're constantly distracted, you'll never get anywhere that matters. Distractions steal your time. They steal your energy. They steal your potential. And most of the time, they don't even feel like a threat. They feel normal. That's the danger. You don't lose your strength all at once. You lose it in small pieces. Scrolling too long, checking your phone every 5 minutes, jumping from one task to another without finishing anything. You don't notice it at first, but over time, your ability to concentrate weakens, your productivity drops, your confidence fades, and you wonder why you feel stuck. It's because you're not fully showing up. You're half in, you're scattered, and that's no way to live if you want to grow. You've got to decide what deserves your focus and what doesn't. Not everything needs your attention. Not every notification is urgent. Not every message deserves a reply right now. You need to build a life where your focus is protected, where your time is guarded, where your energy is respected. Because if you don't protect these things, someone else will use them for their own gain, and you'll be left exhausted, unfocused, and frustrated with yourself. The world is full of distractions. They're built to pull you in. They're designed to keep you hooked. And if you're not intentional, you'll fall into the trap. That's why it's not enough to just hope for focus. You have to create it. You have to design your day with purpose. You have to decide ahead of time what matters and make sure that's where your attention goes. Start with your environment. If your space is full of noise and clutter and easy temptations, it's going to be hard to focus. Clean it up. Remove what doesn't help you. Set up your space to support your goals. Turn off the notifications. Put the phone away when you're doing real work. Make your environment match your intentions. Then get clear on your priorities. What are the top 1 or 2 things that truly move your life forward? Focus on those. Not 10 things, not everything at once. Just what matters most. Give those things your full attention, your best energy, your sharpest thinking. That's how results are built, not by doing more, but but by focusing better. And don't confuse being busy with being focused. They're not the same. A lot of people stay busy all day and still make no real progress. Because they're not focused. They're reacting, they're multitasking, they're jumping around, trying to do it all. But nothing great is built with divided attention. The people who achieve, the people who grow, they know how to lock in, they know how to eliminate distractions, they know how to enter deep work without checking out every 5 minutes. You train focus the same way you train a muscle. Start with short periods of deep attention, work on one thing for a set time, no breaks, no distractions. Then increase it over time. Don't expect to be perfect, expect resistance. Your mind will wander. That's normal. But each time you pull it back, you're getting stronger. Each time you finish what you started, you're building trust in yourself. And that kind of focus, it adds up. Most people can't focus for more than a few minutes without needing to check something. That's a problem. Not because it's bad, but because it makes them weak. You can't lead your life with that kind of mind. A scattered mind builds nothing. A focused mind builds everything. If you want inner strength, this is non-negotiable. You have to master your attention. You have to control where your energy goes every day. Start noticing what pulls you away. What are the habits that break your focus? Be honest. It might be your phone. It might be jumping between tabs. It might be saying yes to too many people. Whatever it is, take it seriously, because each one is a leak, and if you don't fix the leaks, you'll always feel drained. Not because you're lazy, but because your attention is being pulled in too many directions. Then replace those habits. Build routines that support focus. Create a schedule. Set clear boundaries. Tell people when you're unavailable. Protect time for deep work, for thinking, for building. And don't feel guilty about it. This isn't about being rude. This is about being effective. It's about showing up to your life with clarity and purpose. That's what strong people do. They don't chase everything. They choose what matters. And don't wait for the perfect time. Don't tell yourself you'll start focusing better next week. Start today. Even if it's messy, even if you get distracted halfway through, start building the muscle now, because the longer you wait, the more you fall into habits that weaken you. Take control back. Decide what deserves your focus, and block everything else out. Focus gives you power, not just to get more done, but to become more. You start thinking clearer, you start seeing patterns, you stop wasting energy on what doesn't matter. And when you start stacking focused days, days where you gave your full effort to what matters, you begin to feel a shift. You don't feel scattered anymore, you feel sharp, you feel in control, you feel like you're actually building something real. That feeling, that clarity, that strength, it comes from doing the work without letting everything else interrupt you. You can't buy that. You can't borrow it. You earn it. One focused day at a time. Don't just try to do more. Do less with more focus. And watch how your life starts to change. Watch how your results improve. Watch how your confidence builds. Because you're no longer chasing everything, you're building what matters most. And once you've trained that kind of focus, it stays with you. It shows up in every area, in how you speak, in how you work, in how you plan your day. You carry that strength with you, and it gives you a different kind of edge, not because you're better than anyone, but because you're serious about your life, you're committed to your growth. You don't waste your time, you use it to build. That's how you build inner strength. You remove what distracts you, and you give your best attention to what matters, every single day. Chapter 4. Push through pain without looking for an escape. Pain is part of the process. It's not a mistake. It's not a sign that something's wrong. It's the test. It's the weight you have to carry if you want to grow. You don't get stronger by avoiding it. You get stronger by facing it, feeling it, and pushing through it without trying to run from it. That's what separates those who build strength from those who stay stuck. The ones who grow are the ones who learn how to sit with pain and keep going anyway. Most people, the moment they feel discomfort, they try to escape. They numb it. They hide from it. They distract themselves. And that might bring some short-term relief, but it never brings strength. Strength is built when you go through the fire without trying to find the exit. It's when you feel the pressure, the weight, the struggle, and you still move forward. Not because it feels good, but because quitting is not an option anymore. You don't need to run every time something hurts. You don't need to search for a way out. What you need is to breathe, stay centered, and keep taking steps. Pain will come. It will visit you in different forms. Loss, rejection, failure, fatigue. But every time you go through it without backing down, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. You don't become powerful by skipping the hard parts. You become powerful when you go through the hard parts and come out stronger. And you don't need to wait until the pain is gone to act. You need to act while it's still there, because that's when the real strength is formed. When you keep doing what's right, even when everything inside you wants to stop, that's when you grow. The truth is, pain reveals who you are. When things are easy, everybody looks strong. But when things break down, when nothing is working, when you're tired, when the doubt creeps in, what do you do then? That's the real test. That's when your character is built, not during the good days, but in the days when you feel like giving up. And don't. Don't cover the pain with excuses. Don't try to ignore it with distractions. Sit with it, face it. Ask yourself what it's trying to teach you, because there's a lesson in every struggle. There's growth in every setback. But you can only find it when you stop looking for the exit and start choosing to go through it. There's a kind of confidence that comes from enduring pain without running. It's quiet. It is calm. It's not loud or showy, but it's real, and it gives you something most people never have. Peace. Peace that comes from knowing you can handle whatever comes your way. You don't get that from escaping. You get that from facing life head-on, even when it hurts. Some days it will feel like too much. You'll feel like the weight is too heavy. You'll feel like the pain is too deep. But you're not weak for feeling that. You're human. What makes you strong is refusing to let the pain break you. What makes you strong is deciding that your future is more important than your comfort. Pain will always try to trick you. It will tell you to quit. It will tell you you're not built for this. It will tell you to stop trying. Don't listen. Don't believe it. Push anyway. Move anyway. One more step, one more rep, one more day. That's how you win. Not by avoiding the struggle, but by outlasting it. And it doesn't matter what the pain looks like. Maybe it's emotional. Maybe it's physical. Maybe it's mental. The response is the same. Stay in it. Don't break your routines. Don't abandon your habits. Don't give in to the need for a quick escape. That's what makes the pain louder. When you run from it, it chases you. But when you face it, it loses its power. And over time, you start to change. You stop being afraid of hard things. You stop dreading discomfort. You stop needing everything to be easy. You become steady, grounded, clear, and people will notice it. They'll see it in your eyes, in the way you carry yourself, in the way you move through problems without breaking down. The most powerful people are not the ones who avoid pain. They're the ones who use it. They take the struggle and turn it into strength. They take the setbacks and turn them into lessons. They take the pressure and turn it into power. That's what you're capable of. But you have to stop looking for a way out and start showing up, no matter how hard it feels. Don't tell yourself the pain means you're doing something wrong. Tell yourself it means you're becoming someone stronger. Most people never reach their potential because they're too focused on how to feel good instead of how to grow. You're here to grow. You're here to evolve. You're here to become unshakable, and that means you stop avoiding the uncomfortable moments. It's not about being fearless. It's about facing the fear and still doing the work. It's about staying in the storm long enough to come out different. Every time you do that, you build a deeper level of strength, one that doesn't depend on circumstances, one that doesn't change when life gets tough, one that holds steady when everything else is falling apart. So don't run, don't hide, don't numb. Feel the pain. Let it burn. Let it teach you. Let it strengthen your spirit. And then use it. Use it to become more focused. Use it to become more determined. Use it to become more powerful than you've ever been. This isn't about pretending you're okay. It's about showing up anyway. It's about pushing through the pain without looking for an escape. That's what real strength looks like. That's how you change. That's how you become the person you were meant to be. Chapter 5. Train your mind to stay calm during stress. Stress is part of life. It shows up in your work, in your relationships, in your responsibilities, and sometimes it even shows up for no reason at all. The problem isn't that stress exists. The problem is how you respond to it. If your mind breaks down every time something goes wrong, you'll spend most of your life in chaos. But if you train your mind to stay calm, even under pressure, you become dangerous in the best way. You become focused, clear, steady, and most importantly, in control. Calm is not a feeling you wait for. It's a skill you build. You train your mind the same way you train your body. Not just when things are easy, but especially when things are hard. Anybody can stay relaxed when everything is going right. But that's not the goal. The real test is, can you stay composed when life gets unpredictable? Can you hold your focus when things around you start falling apart? Can you keep moving forward when the pressure starts to rise? That's the strength you need to build, because life isn't going to stop testing you. Deadlines won't wait. People won't always be fair. Situations won't always go your way. You have to decide that you're not going to let those things shake you. You don't react, you respond. You stay steady, you stay grounded, you stay calm. Not because things are easy, but because you've trained for this. And training starts with awareness. Pay attention to how your mind reacts under pressure. Do you panic? Do you shut down? Do you lash out? Whatever your automatic reaction is, you can change it, but only if you catch it. Only if you start watching yourself like someone who wants to improve. The moment you feel stress rising, stop, take a breath, slow your response. Most of the damage people do under stress doesn't come from the stress itself. It comes from reacting too fast. You don't need to fix everything in one moment. You just need to stay centered in the moment you're in. That's what calm is. It's not the absence of stress, it's the refusal to let stress run your decisions. It's the ability to stay focused when your mind wants to spin out of control. You train this by practicing calm in small moments, waiting in traffic, listening instead of interrupting, taking deep breaths when frustration hits. Those small moments prepare you for the big ones. And don't expect perfection. There will be times when your mind slips, when you get overwhelmed, when you react in ways you're not proud of. That doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. What matters is that you keep coming back. Keep strengthening your control. Keep building that mental muscle. Calm doesn't come overnight. It comes from repetition, consistency, and patience. You can't rely on motivation when it comes to staying calm. You need structure. You need systems. Start your day with intention. Create quiet time for your mind. Cut out unnecessary noise. Protect your peace. Don't fill every gap in your day with stimulation. Your mind needs space to breathe. Most people are constantly overloaded, not because life is that busy, but because they never stop feeding their mind with distractions. You want to stay calm? Start subtracting. Take away the things that pull your mind in 100 directions. Simplify your commitments. Stop saying yes to things that drain you. Learn to walk away from conversations that aren't going anywhere. Calm isn't just built in meditation or silence. It's built in the choices you make every day. If you surround yourself with chaos, you're going to feel chaotic. If you organize your life with clarity and order, calm becomes your baseline. When stress hits, your breathing changes, your thoughts race, your body tightens. That's your signal to slow down. Breathe deeper, get still. Focus on facts, not stories. Most of the stress you feel comes from overthinking, from playing worst-case scenarios in your head, from imagining problems that haven't even happened. Stop feeding that cycle. Catch yourself early and reset. You don't need to solve the whole problem right now. You just need to stay clear enough to take the next right step. Talk to yourself the right way. Most people make stress worse by the way they speak to themselves. They say, "This is too much. I can't handle this. Everything is falling apart." Those words create panic. Change your words. Say, "I've handled things before. I'll handle this. One step at a time. Let me focus on what I can do." Your mind listens to you. If you feed it fear, it will give you more. If you feed it calm, it will follow your lead. And calm doesn't mean soft. It means power under control. It means making decisions from a place of strength instead of emotion. It means being the steady hand when everyone else is losing theirs. That's what makes you a leader. Not in a title, but in how you carry yourself. People notice it. They feel it, because calm is rare, and anything that's rare holds value. You won't always feel ready. You won't always feel confident, but you can always choose to be calm, not because you know how everything will work out, but because panic has never helped. Worry has never solved a single problem. Stress will knock, but you don't have to let it in, and if it gets in, you don't have to let it stay. You can reset, you can recenter, you can take control again. This is your mind. Don't give it away to pressure. Don't let fear sit in the driver's seat. Stay in charge. Choose stillness in the middle of noise. Choose focus when your mind wants to wander. Choose calm when things feel out of control. And over time, this becomes your new default. You don't just stay calm. You become calm. You become unshakable. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger inside. That's how you train your mind to stay calm during stress. And once you do, no challenge can throw you off your path. You move forward with clarity. You stay sharp under pressure. You think better. You act better. And you live better. Chapter 6. Speak truth to yourself when no one else will. The hardest conversations you'll ever have are the ones you have with yourself, not the ones where you comfort yourself, the ones where you tell yourself the truth, the real truth, the kind that's hard to admit, the kind that stings a little when it hits your ears. But if you want to build inner strength, this is where it starts. You have to stop running from honesty. You have to stop telling yourself what you want to hear. and start telling yourself what you need to hear. Nobody knows you like you do. Nobody sees what you do when the door is closed. Nobody hears the excuses that run through your mind. Nobody feels your hesitation when it's time to act. And that means one thing: you are the one who has to hold yourself to a higher standard. Because most people won't. They'll let you slide. They'll say it's okay when it's not. They'll let you stay the same, not because they want to hurt you, but because they don't want to offend you. They don't want to challenge you. But if you want to grow, you've got to challenge yourself. You've got to be real with yourself. There comes a point where you have to look in the mirror and say, am I doing what I said I'd do? You have to ask yourself if the life you're living matches the one you say you want. And if the answer is no, then you don't hide it. You don't sugarcoat it. You speak the truth. You say, I'm falling short here. You say, I've been avoiding the work. You say, I've been lying to myself. Not to beat yourself up, but to wake yourself up, because the truth, when it's spoken clearly, it changes you. It's not comfortable, but it's clean, it's sharp, it cuts away the confusion, it brings you face to face with what's real. And that's what most people avoid. They'd rather live in denial, they'd rather keep pretending that things are okay. But that's how you stay weak. That's how you stay stuck. You want to build strength? Start by being honest. Ask yourself, where am I letting myself down? That's not a question most people want to answer, but if you're brave enough to answer it, everything starts to shift. Because now you're no longer blind to your own patterns. Now you see them. Now you can change them. Sometimes the truth sounds like, I haven't been disciplined. Or, I say I want it, but my actions don't prove it. Or, I'm wasting time on things that don't matter. Those are not easy things to admit. But they're powerful, because the moment you say them out loud, the illusion breaks, and what's left is clarity. And with clarity comes direction. You don't need to wait for someone to call you out. You call yourself out. You sit yourself down and say what needs to be said. You speak with strength, not with judgment, not with anger, but with responsibility. You say, this is on me. And that moment, when you take full ownership of your life, it's a turning point. Because now you're no longer waiting for motivation. You're no longer waiting for the perfect time. You're moving with purpose, and that kind of movement changes everything. Honesty builds respect, not just from others, but from yourself. When you speak truth to yourself, you start to trust yourself again. You stop second-guessing. You start making excuses. You start living in alignment, and that alignment gives you peace. Not the fake kind of peace that comes from comfort. The real kind. The peace of knowing you're doing the right thing even when it's hard. But don't confuse truth with being harsh. This isn't about tearing yourself down. This is about lifting yourself up with clarity. It's about removing the fog and seeing things for what they are. It's about telling yourself, I can do better, and I will. That's what the truth does. It wakes you up. It shakes you. And it pushes you forward. Every time you avoid the truth, you give away your power. You start living based on feelings instead of facts. And feelings can lie. But the truth, when spoken with courage, it always guides you in the right direction. It brings your attention back to what matters. It reminds you who you said you wanted to be. You have to be your own coach, your own guide, your own leader, because you're with yourself more than anyone else. And if you're not leading yourself, who is? Who's making sure you stay on track? Who's keeping you accountable when it's just you and the silence? Make it a daily habit. Talk to yourself with honesty every single day. Ask yourself real questions. Did I give my best today? Did I follow through on what I said? Did I waste time or did I use it well? And if the answer is no, don't hide from it, face it, and decide to do better tomorrow. And when you do get it right, acknowledge it. Say, I showed up today, I made progress, I stayed focused. That's truth too. And you need both. You need to be able to call yourself out when you're slipping, and you need to recognize yourself when you're growing. That balance keeps you grounded. The more you speak truth to yourself, the less approval you need from others. You stop seeking validation. You stop pretending. You live real. You become solid inside. That's strength. Not loud, not dramatic, just real. Most people lie to themselves every day. They say they want change, but they avoid action. They say they're committed, but they keep slipping into comfort. You don't want to live like that. You want to build something honest, something real, and that starts inside. So take a step back, look at your life, look at your patterns, look at your choices, and ask the hard questions. Speak the truth no one else is willing to say, not to tear yourself down, but to rise, to grow, to lead yourself with integrity. Because the person who speaks the truth to themselves, even when it's hard, is the person who can't be shaken by the world. They're not waiting for anyone else to wake them up. They've already done it, and they'll keep doing it every single day. That's how you build immense inner strength. That's how you become unbreakable. Chapter 7. Break bad habits and create stronger daily routine. If you're serious about building inner strength, you have to take a hard look at your habits. The way you live your days is the way you build your life. Every action you repeat becomes part of who you are, and if your habits are weak, your results will be weak. It doesn't matter how much potential you have. If you keep feeding it with poor decisions, you'll keep getting the same cycle of frustration. The turning point comes when you decide to break what's not helping and build routines that move you forward. Bad habits don't start loud, they creep in. They feel harmless at first, skipping the gym one day, sleeping in an extra hour, putting things off for tomorrow, checking your phone every few minutes. But over time, those small choices become automatic, and you don't even realize how much they're stealing from you. Your time, your energy, your confidence. They rob you quietly, and by the time you notice, you've already built a lifestyle that works against you. To change that, you need to be honest about what's not working. What are the habits that slow you down? What's taking more from your life than it gives? Is it wasting time online? Is it staying up too late? Is it starting your day with no structure? Whatever it is, you need to face it head on. Don't make excuses for it. Don't say it's just who I am. That mindset keeps you stuck. You're not fixed. You're not locked into your current routine. You can change it, but you have to want it badly enough to do the hard work. Breaking a bad habit doesn't happen by accident. You have to make it harder to do. You have to interrupt the pattern. If your phone is the problem, move it out of reach during the times that matter. If you keep staying up too late, create a cut-off time and stick to it, like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. You can't expect better outcomes if you're stuck in behaviors that drain your strength. Change starts by removing the things that weaken you. But removing isn't enough. You have to replace. You have to give your mind and your body a better direction. Create routines that align with your goals. Set a morning routine that puts you in control of your day. Build an evening routine that helps you reset. Don't leave your actions up to how you feel, because feelings change. Systems don't. Systems protect your progress. Routines give you structure when motivation is low. That's how you stay consistent. Start simple. Wake up at the same time. Drink water first thing. Move your body. Plan your day before the day takes over. These aren't complicated steps, but they're powerful when done consistently, because they give you momentum. They put you in motion, and once you're in motion, you stop calling yourself lazy or undisciplined. You start building trust in your ability to follow through. Don't try to change everything at once. That leads to burnout. Choose one habit to eliminate, one routine to build. Focus on consistency. Show yourself that you can stick to something small before you aim for something big. Every small win is a building block. It's proof that you're capable of more. And once you have proof, it's easier to keep going. Bad habits usually show up when you're tired, unprepared, or bored. So stay ahead of them. Prepare your meals, plan your schedule, remove temptation from your space. The more friction there is between you and your bad habits, the easier it becomes to break the cycle. Don't just hope for willpower. Design your life in a way that makes better choices easier to make. And when you slip, and you will, don't throw away the progress. One bad day doesn't erase the work you've done. What matters is how fast you get back on track. Weak people make one mistake and use it as a reason to quit. Strong people recognize the slip and adjust. They don't make it personal. They don't spiral. They learn and continue. That's how lasting change is built. It's not enough to want a better life. You have to build the structure that supports it. Your habits are either building your strength or breaking it down. There's no in-between. If you keep choosing convenience, comfort, and distraction, you'll keep feeling frustrated with your results. If you start choosing consistency, clarity, and effort, you'll start seeing a version of yourself you didn't even know existed. And here's the truth. Your routines shape your identity. If you wake up and waste the first hour of your day, that's who you become. If you start your day with purpose, that identity follows you through everything else. You can either be the person who reacts to life or the person who leads it. Your daily habits decide which one you are. Don't wait until things feel urgent. That's what most people do. They wait until the pressure forces them to change. You're smarter than that. You change because you're committed to growth. You don't need a crisis. You just need a clear decision. A decision to stop living below your potential. A decision to stop repeating what doesn't serve you. A decision to start acting like your future is worth fighting for. You have more control than you think. Every day gives you a chance to act differently. Every moment is a choice between the old you and the one you're trying to build. Stop saying someday, start saying right now. Your new life doesn't start next month. It starts with the decision you make today. Break the habits that hold you back. Build the routines that carry you forward. Do it with urgency. Do it with purpose. Do it with full commitment. That's how you build a foundation that can handle anything life throws at you. That's how you stop drifting and start leading. That's how you move from feeling stuck to gaining control. It's not complicated. It's just consistent effort done daily. Show up for yourself, choose your habits wisely, and don't stop until they reflect the strength you want to build. Chapter 8. Stand firm when life gives you pressure and fear. There are moments in life when everything feels heavy, when the pressure is real and the fear is loud, when it seems like nothing is going your way and the weight on your shoulders starts to feel like too much. These are the moments that define you. Not the easy days, not the calm seasons, but the moments when you're tempted to fold, and instead, you choose to stand. That's where your strength is built, right in the middle of the storm, when quitting would be easy, but you stay standing anyway. Fear will always try to control you. It will whisper worst-case scenarios in your mind. It will tell you to back down, to stay small, to avoid risk. And when you combine that fear with pressure, financial stress, personal challenges, unexpected loss, it can shake even the strongest person. But here's the truth. The people who make it through aren't the ones who never feel fear. They're the ones who feel it and keep moving forward. They stand when everything inside them says run. They hold their ground when the pressure tries to knock them over. You don't need to remove all fear before you act. You need to stop letting fear decide how you respond. Pressure will always exist. Challenges will always come. But strength is refusing to be moved by them. It's looking at the fear and saying, "You're here, but you don't get to control what I do." That level of control doesn't come from wishful thinking. It comes from practicing courage in small ways every day. The more you avoid pressure, the more power it gains over you. But the more you face it, the less it scares you. You begin to realize that pressure isn't here to break you. It's here to train you. It's here to show you what you're capable of when comfort is no longer an option. And most people will never discover that because the moment life gets difficult, they look for a way out. They step back instead of stepping up. They shrink instead of standing tall. But not you. You've decided that pressure will not decide your path. Fear will not be your leader. When you feel pressure, use it as a signal. It means something matters. It means you're doing something that's worth the wait. Pressure only exists when the outcome is important, so instead of running from it, lean into it. Instead of hiding, face it fully. Meet it with a calm mind and a strong will. There's a kind of peace that comes when you decide that nothing outside of you gets to break your commitment. That no matter how hard it gets, you're not giving up. That no matter what fear says, your values stay intact. You don't make decisions based on fear. You make them based on what's right, what's needed, what builds character. Pressure reveals your patterns. It shows you how you react when things aren't perfect. Do you panic? Do you make excuses? Do you shut down? Or do you breathe deeply, gather yourself, and move with purpose? That's the kind of response you need to train, because life will not slow down for you. The unexpected will happen, people will disappoint you, plans will fail, and in all of that, you still have a choice. You can react emotionally, or you can respond with strength. Fear is loud, but it's also temporary. When you act with courage, fear starts to shrink. The problem is that most people wait for fear to leave before they do anything, and that moment never comes. Courage isn't about the absence of fear. It's about choosing the right action in spite of it. And the more you do that, the more your confidence grows. You realize that you can be afraid and still move forward. You can feel pressure and still think clearly. You can face uncertainty without losing yourself. Sometimes the pressure doesn't come from a single event. Sometimes it builds over time. A slow, growing weight that wears you down, and those are the moments that test your endurance. Can you stay steady through the long stretch of challenge? Can you keep showing up, even when the results don't come right away? That's what standing firm looks like. It's not dramatic, it's consistent, it's quiet. It's choosing not to quit, even when nobody's clapping. Standing firm doesn't mean you never feel weak. It means you don't let the weakness make your decisions. It means you face the day as it comes. You give what you have, even if it's not much. You push forward, even when you're tired. That's not something you do once. That's a lifestyle. That's a commitment to your growth. And the truth is, fear will come in different forms. It might show up as self-doubt. It might show up as criticism. It might come through failure. But each time it shows up, you get another chance to prove to yourself that you don't run. You don't crumble. You adapt, you stand, you face it and keep walking. And as you keep doing that, something starts to shift inside you. You start trusting yourself more. You start becoming someone you're proud of, not because life got easier, but because you refused to break when it got harder. You built strength not by avoiding challenge, but by showing up through it. The most powerful people you'll ever meet are not the loudest or the boldest. They're the ones who learned how to hold their ground under pressure. They're the ones who know what it feels like to be afraid and still move forward. That kind of strength can't be faked. It can't be bought. It's earned. And it's earned every time you decide to stay standing when fear tries to pull you away. So no matter what life throws at you, remember who you are. You are not here to collapse. You are not here to shrink. You are here to rise. You are here to lead. You are here to become someone who doesn't give up just because the path got heavy. Keep your head clear. Keep your heart strong. Keep your feet planted. You don't need to know every answer right now. You just need to keep moving forward with courage and conviction. That's how strength is built. That's how power is formed. That's how you grow into someone who can handle anything. Not by avoiding pressure, not by silencing fear, but by standing firm every single time it comes. Chapter 9. Keep moving forward when motivation is completely gone. There will be days when you don't feel anything. No fire, no energy, no inspiration, no motivation. The drive that once pushed you forward will seem silent. You'll wake up and feel nothing pulling you into action. And that's when the real test begins. That's when most people stop. That's when they take their foot off the gas because they think the feeling is supposed to come first. But if you only move when you feel like it, you'll never go far. Progress doesn't belong to the most motivated. It belongs to the most committed. You have to learn to act without the feeling. You have to train yourself to move without the spark, because it won't always be there. Life is full of ups and downs, and your habits can't depend on how the morning feels or whether your mood is perfect. If you wait for the mood to show up, you'll spend more time waiting than building. That's not how inner strength is formed. Inner strength is built in the days you feel empty and still do what needs to be done. Some people say they've lost their motivation, like it's something that disappeared without warning. But the truth is, motivation was never meant to carry the full weight. Motivation is just a spark. It starts the fire, but it doesn't keep it burning. What keeps it burning is structure. What keeps it going is showing up on the days when everything inside you wants to stay still. That's where the difference is made. You have to ask yourself, what do I do when the emotion fades? What do you fall back on when excitement is gone and routine feels heavy? That's where discipline lives. It's not in the beginning when everything is new. It's not when you feel excited about your plan. Discipline shows up when nothing about today feels special, and you still don't quit. You don't need to be inspired to stick to your commitment. You need to be someone who keeps promises to yourself. The problem is most people only follow through when the wind is at their back. But life doesn't always give you a push. Sometimes it gives you silence. Sometimes it gives you resistance. Sometimes it gives you boredom. And in those moments you have to create your own momentum. Start with the smallest action, not because you feel ready, but because you're not going to allow your day to go to waste. You don't need to climb a mountain today, but you do need to take the next step. That one move proves to your mind that you're still in control, and once you take that step, something shifts. You start remembering why you started. You remember what it felt like to care. You don't wait to feel better. You act first and let the feeling catch up later. Waiting for motivation is a trap. It's a delay disguised as a plan. It gives you a reason to stay still, but your growth can't afford more waiting. There's too much on the line. Your goals are too important to be optional. Your future can't be left in the hands of a mood. You need to make progress your responsibility, no matter how you feel. This doesn't mean you ignore how you feel. It means you don't give your emotions the final say. You acknowledge the lack of energy, but you don't obey it. You respect the low moments, but you don't live in them. You keep going, you keep working. You do it because you've decided that your habits matter more than your temporary feelings. People who build real strength are not always motivated. They just don't let that stop them. They move without waiting for the spark. They've trained themselves to operate on standards, not on moods. You need to have standards for your behavior that stay the same whether you feel like it or not. That's how you build consistency. That's how you become dependable. First to yourself, then to others. You may not feel proud every day. You may not see big changes every day. But when you show up without motivation and still put in the work, that's when you should be most proud. That's when the real work is happening. The kind of work that doesn't get applause, but transforms you from the inside. And you're not doing this to prove anything to anyone else. You're doing this because you want to look in the mirror and know you didn't give up on yourself. That even when the fire was out, you kept walking. That's the kind of person who becomes unshakable. Not because everything always goes well, but because nothing can stop them, not even their own emotions. It's easy to be consistent when things feel exciting, but the real growth comes from being consistent when everything feels flat. That's where your edge is built. That's where your character is shaped. That's where most people give up. And you won't. Because you understand something deeper. This isn't about motivation. This is about who you're becoming. This is about building a mindset that doesn't fold when things feel dull. Keep your vision in front of you. Remind yourself why this matters. Think about where your life will go if you stop now. Think about what you're giving up by waiting for the perfect day. Every time you delay action, you delay progress. Every time you move forward without motivation, you grow. You get one day at a time, and every one of them counts. Even the ones that feel like nothing is happening. Progress is often quiet. It doesn't come with fireworks. But if you keep showing up, if you keep doing what's necessary, even without motivation, you will see the results. It's not about massive wins every day. It's about stacking small victories. It's about not breaking the chain. It's about doing the right thing again and again, even when your heart isn't in it. Because eventually, your discipline turns into momentum, and momentum carries you through the tough spots. It builds a version of you that doesn't rely on hype or energy, a version that just works, that gets things done, that refuses to lose progress just because the feeling isn't there. That's how real strength is built. Not in the moments when you're inspired, but in the moments when you're not, and you keep going anyway. When you stop waiting and start moving. When you stop looking for a spark and start creating your own fire. You won't always feel motivated, but you can always choose to move forward, and that choice will change everything. Chapter 10. Live every day with purpose and real intention. Every day is a chance to build or to waste. And the difference between those who grow and those who stay the same is this: the ones who grow live with purpose. They don't wait for direction. They don't guess their way through the day. They wake up with a reason behind their actions, not just big goals, but a clear sense of what matters right now, today. That's how you build a life that means something. That's how you stop drifting. That's how you stay grounded in what's real. Living with purpose doesn't mean you need to know everything about your future. It means you stop living on autopilot. It means you stop letting the hours pass without knowing what you're doing with them. Most people are busy but not intentional. They fill their schedule with noise, but nothing that brings them closer to anything meaningful. They wake up, go through routines they didn't choose, and end the day wondering why they feel empty. You don't want to live like that. You want to live on purpose. Start by asking yourself why you do what you do. Why do you get out of bed? Why do you work? Why do you spend your time the way you do? If the answer is just survival, you'll never feel fulfilled. You need something deeper. A reason that gives direction to your choices. Because once you have that, everything changes. You stop wasting energy. You stop saying yes to things that don't matter. You become focused. You become powerful in a quiet, steady way. Your purpose doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be true. It could be becoming someone your family can rely on. It could be building something meaningful from scratch. It could be mastering a skill, developing character, growing every day no matter how small the step. What matters is that it's real to you. Something that keeps you moving when things feel dull. Something that reminds you who you're becoming, even when life gets noisy. Intention means deciding ahead of time how you'll live your day. Not reacting, not guessing, choosing. You look at your time like it matters, because it does. You only get so much of it, and once it's spent, you don't get it back. So you don't scroll through the morning, you don't drift through the afternoon. You set your plan, you move with clarity, you show up like your time is valuable, because it is. That doesn't mean every minute has to be productive. It means every part of your day has a reason. If you rest with purpose. If you work with full focus. If you spend time with people, you give them your full presence. You stop half-living everything. You stop being 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You go all in on whatever you've chosen to do in that moment. And when you live like this, you stop feeling out of control. You stop chasing things that don't matter. You stop comparing yourself to everyone else. Because now your path is clear. It's your path, not theirs. And your energy goes into your mission, not their opinions. That's what intention gives you. It gives you power over your attention, and your attention decides everything. Your results, your focus, your peace of mind. Living with purpose also means taking full ownership of your choices. No more blaming, no more hoping someone else will fix it. You wake up and say, "This is my life, and I am responsible for it." That kind of thinking changes how you act. You stop waiting, you start doing. You build your day with your own 2 hands. When people live without purpose, they get stuck in habits that waste them. They chase comfort. They repeat routines that give nothing back. They let their day be shaped by whatever shows up. But that kind of life doesn't build anything strong. It just maintains survival. And you're not here to survive. You're here to grow. You're here to leave something behind that means something. You want to look back at your life and know that you gave it your best, that you didn't waste your time pretending to care about things that didn't matter, that you built something real with what you were given. That doesn't happen by chance. It happens when you make purpose your anchor. When you decide that each day is a gift and you're not going to waste it. And it's not about being perfect, it's about being present, being aware of how you're living, being honest about where you're slipping, being focused on getting better, not for approval but because it's who you want to be. That kind of life gives you peace at night. It gives you strength when things get hard. It gives you clarity when the world feels loud. You don't need to wait for motivation to live with purpose. You just need to decide what matters most and act like it matters. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a reason to keep going, especially on the days when it would be easier to check out. Purpose is not about doing something big all the time. It's about doing the small things with full intention. Wake up with a clear goal. Not a list of tasks, but a reason, a single focus that brings meaning to your day, and live from that, speak from that, work from that, rest from that. Let it guide your choices, your words, your habits. Because when you move from purpose, your life has direction. They're busy, but disconnected. They're active, but not aligned. Don't live like that. Start every day by asking yourself who you're becoming and what matters today. Let that question shape your actions. Let that question challenge your distractions. Let that question build the life you know you're meant to live. Because at the end of it all, it's not the achievements that matter most. It's not the awards or recognition. It's whether you lived every day like it counted. Whether you showed up with a full heart. Whether you took responsibility for your actions. Whether you gave your time to things that truly mattered. That's what builds legacy. That's what builds a life you can be proud of. Live with purpose every single day, not just when things are going well, not just when you feel inspired, every day, on the quiet days, on the heavy days, on the days no one's watching. That's how you build real strength. That's how you rise above the noise. That's how you build a life that means something. So here's the truth. Building immense inner strength doesn't happen in one day. It's something you work on daily. It's in the way you talk to yourself. It's in the choices you make when no one's watching. It's in how you show up, even when life gets hard. If you want to change your life, don't wait for the perfect time. Start now. Start where you are. Be honest with yourself. Fix your weak habits. Push through discomfort. Focus on your routines and keep showing up even when you don't feel like it. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. That's how you get stronger inside. That's how you take control. And that's how you build a life you can be proud of. Thanks for watching. Keep working on yourself every day. You're stronger than you think.